But that's what, if I start getting hungry, which I really don't anymore, I'll just do liquids. And then that allows my body to literally rest every day. So it's not using up near as much energy. So now what I want to do is just to move into some extra things you can do if you have some money. Because see, all these things here pretty much don't take a lot of money to do. It's just things you can do. So some very important things is everybody should be taking some kind of probiotic, especially in this stage. You know, we're up against a lot more things now than we were 100, 150 years ago. So one of your best defenses is you need to keep your gut clean. And of course, probiotics are nothing more than good bacteria. So whether you get it in a probiotic, which I personally don't take one because I eat a lot of fermented foods, which is probiotic. So either way, you just want to get something in there. And I don't put oil on my salad because oil interferes with digestion. So if I'm going to do that, like in a smoothie or something where you're whipping it up, you've already done most of the digestion when you whip that up anyway. But on the salad, it's just sitting there on top of the salad that blocks digestion. So my dressing is my fermented vegetables. That is really good. And there's all kinds of really good fermented vegetables. You can make your own or you can buy it. But that is fantastic health for your gut, which is important. So that'd be one thing. Number two, I did want to talk a little bit more about enzymes, and that if you want to find out more about that, you can go on the website and go under Loomis, which is Loomis, it's Loomis, enzymes.com, or his other site is enzymeformulations.com. And he has lots of articles. If you want to understand the importance of enzymes, I encourage it, because I tell you, I can take a baby out of the womb, which we're seeing so many of them now. They come out, they can't sleep, or they spit up. And it's, I do what we call a biocranium, which I did a few last year to open up the cranium, but then we put them on just a food enzyme, because what that usually means, they've got an upset stomach so they can't sleep because they're not breaking down their mother's milk even. In this day and age, it's getting horrible. Simply putting on one little enzyme and taking a dropper with water and taking it out of the capsule, putting a little dropper and then dropping it in their mouth, and having the mother take it so it goes through the mouth, that stops all of that. Stops the earaches. Because see, what they're doing is that drilling that mucus, and it's going back into the eustachian, like earache. You can stop that by just simply breaking their food down. So a little side note there. Then I want to just say a word about raw protein. Now, do you need to take raw protein? No, you can get protein. I get protein in my eggs. But in this day and age, because I have the ability to do that, I beef it up with some raw protein powder. And there's different companies. There's Sun Warrior is a really good one. There's Vibrant Health. But if you go to the health food store, there's several. And I like to put a tablespoon of that because it's not bulky. It's like you're getting 20 grams of protein in like a couple tablespoons that you can beef up your smoothie with. But I wanted to say something, because in this day and age, just like the enemy does, he's selling all this protein powder for building muscles. And what they do is mostly use whey and soy. Now you even have people like Mercola out there telling you this is so fantastic. I'm telling you it's hogwash. Dr. Loomis has done the laboratory tests that show that it's absolutely impossible for the human body to break whey down. It is a waste byproduct. They use it because it's so cheap, it's a great filler. So they can fill this whole thing up with whey and put a little bit of this and that and put this all on the label, but it's very little what's actually in there. And soy is the other thing. Doing a lot of soy is a precursor to causing estrogen dominance, which we know what that leads to. So soy and whey, you really want to avoid. Do the brown rice protein, do the yellow pea protein, alfalfa. They're out there now. There's lots of really good ones. So just a word to the wise. Research it out for yourself.
Most soy is GMO, correct?
That's right. Now that's the other reason. Is I love corn, but you can't even hardly find any corn that's not GMO. Okay. And as believers, hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. What are we saying if we're eating GMO? This is for me, I'm talking to me. I wouldn't eat a GMO food if I know for sure it's not, because it's like telling my father he screwed up and we needed to make it better. I mean, what a slap in the face to Jude Bave. You know what I'm saying? So I am totally, and besides scientific, the fact that they've proven the receptor sites you have do not, you know what they call that unclean food. Our body looks at a GMO and cannot process a GMO food. That's scientifically proven. It doesn't have a receptor site for it. No matter what they want to say, it keeps the insects down and lasts longer. It's all about things. So don't get me off on that boat. So I then wanted to cover a couple topics. I wanted to finish this one about cholesterol, high cholesterol, because that's a big problem today, and back to this thing of osteoporosis, the nutritional side. Okay, what they do when you get osteoporosis is they tell you to take a lot of calcium, right? You need to get more calcium. Well, what we know is you can take all the calcium you want. If you don't have the enzyme, first of all, you're not going to hold it in your body, because what they don't tell you is 50% of the calcium that comes in your body, whether it's in a pill form or through the food, has to find a protein to bind to hold it into the body. It cannot. So if it can't find a protein because you can't break it down, then it stores it. How does it store it? It stores it as stones, or guess what the number one thing in cholesterol is? It's not fat, it's calcium that makes the plaque. It's calcium. Why is it in there? The body's pretty smart. It says, well, I'm just going to store it in here until you use it. Well, what happens? They have a stroke first. That's what happens. You know, they get a blood clot. So, you know how you solve it? Don't take calcium pills. Take protease. Protease breaks protein down. So you get a nice formula that has a high protease in it. You can forget ever needing to take blood thinners. Bank me on it. I mean, that's how I kept my dad, his blood in good shape, where he never had to do it. I put him on this product called Trauma, which is just high protease. It's like Pac-Man, because all of that stuff inside there is protein molecules. This is all protein-based molecules. So when it goes in there, it takes the calcium out or whatever that's causing cholesterol. It helps your elasticity of your blood vessels simply by taking high protease, which then breaks your protein down so you have it available for the calcium. It's just that simple. You can solve the cholesterol problems and osteoporosis. Why? Because the calcium can't be held in the bones. Take the high protease, calcium stays in the bones along with the resistive exercise. Those are the two parts. Go ahead, Mark.
So will the protease help slowly start removing the plaque buildup in the artery?
What's nice about it is you won't get clots. See, clots are just a protein molecule. So we've taken people who get like an injury, right, to their leg, and they get a clot, and you know that's bad news, right, because that clot can move. Boom. You take protease, it will dissolve. It doesn't just cut it, it literally eats it like Pac-Man, dissolves it so you never have to worry it goes back. That's just what happens. Awesome.
The other thing I wanted to say was, does it matter whether you take it systemic or with food?
If you're using it, that's a very good question. If you're using it to break down your food, which you should, then you take it with your meal. If I'm using it like for my father, I just used one that was just almost all protease so that he wouldn't have to take Coumadin and all this garbage with this to thin your blood. See, there's a big difference between thinning your blood and cleaning your blood. Thinning your blood changes the viscosity, right? And you bleed to death if they don't stay on track.
Right.
So that brings me to a warning. If somebody's going to get on protease, they need to stay on their Coumadin, and their doctor will be forced to take it off, because when they start on the high protease, they'll go back and go, what happened? Well, don't tell them. I don't know, I'm just cleaning out my diet. That's the total answer. I'm just changing my diet. Don't ever say anything else. Changing my diet. Well, I don't know, but whatever you're doing is working. And they have to lower it because they're getting it dangerous. So that's the best. Don't fight them. Just, do it this way, and it works well. Yes?
Will you spell that for me?
The protease, Protease. And so while we're on that, just let me give you the basics. Lipase, that's for protein. Lipase is for fats, Lipase. Amylase, which is in your mouth, that's for carbs, Amylase. Now there's lots of different, but there's 4 basic ones. And then cellulase is for fiber, Cellulase, okay? Yes, Mark?
Just a quick testimony on it, because I, about 3 years ago, started on the enzymes.
Excellent.
And choosing the ones that had the high protease, to make sure it had the lipase and the amylase.
Yes.
And so what happened was I had a basketball injury in my ankle, and Matt and Eloisa knows I was complaining about it hurting again just weeks ago, because I had stopped taking it systemically and just was doing it digestively.
Right.
I noticed after about 3 months being off of it, my ankle started bothering me. Well, what I was gonna say is, I started taking the enzymes, and I was gonna have surgery on it because it was so bad I couldn't hardly walk. And within about 4 weeks, completely, the pain went away.
Right on.
No issues. My shoe was looser. I didn't even realize it was swollen. And so it was just amazing. Many other things I
What a
noticed.
great testimony.
Yeah, it was really good. And so